Hello, this is Sean again with Constant Ringing Tech, and here I'm with another tutorial about MikroTiks. And the thing that's plagued MikroTik users for a very long time is how does VLANs interact with different scenarios? And I've come to say that MikroTik has been very inconsistent across our line of how VLANs are deployed out in an access configuration. So this video will avoid that completely because there's a ton of other videos and other tutorials out there that talk about setting up access VLANs versus trunk VLANs and how they work together. We're only going to focus on trunk VLANs or tagged VLANs today. So just say you have a scenario where you want a specific device or devices that you want to keep them away from your primary network. The smart way to do this is with VLANs. But how we do that with MikroTik is a bit different than everywhere else, and I'll walk you through the steps. So let's go ahead and go up to Interfaces, and we're going to go to VLAN, add a new VLAN interface. Let's call this VLAN 150. We'll give it the VLAN ID 150. And what we're going to do is we're going to add this to the LAN bridge. So that means any ports that are attached to the VLAN bridge, they will have the accessibility to access VLAN 150. Hit apply, and now this VLAN interface has been created. If you click on the main interface screen, we see it as a sub-interface under the LAN bridge. So let's go ahead and add an IP for this. So add a new address, 192.168.150.1/24. We're going to add this to the VLAN 150 interface. That's now been added. We're going to go ahead and add the DHCP server. Go through the wizard. We'll choose the appropriate interface, which is VLAN 150. Hit next all the way through. Adjust the settings as you feel needed. I'm going to set the lease time, the 10 minutes. Yeah, leave it alone. And now we're going to add a guest Wi-Fi. So I'm going to move over to wireless. The first tab, and we're going to click on the add button, and we're going to click on virtual, which basically means virtual AP or virtual access point. And this is just setting used for setting up an additional SSID. So I want to call the name guest Wi-Fi. Wireless is already set for AP bridge. SSID, we're going to call this test 150. The master interface is the only interface because this only has one radio built in. Security profile, I have already created one for guest. And basically just change the password to welcome2, just something different. The rest of this information, only thing we need to change is VLAN mode. We need to change from no tag to use tag. Change this to 150. So that means anything that connects to this specific SSID will automatically get tagged with VLAN 150. And from here we hit apply, and it creates that interface. Now, listen to what I just said. It creates that interface. That means there's a separate interface which the router can route with, to, and from. So to have this guest interface or guest Wi-Fi access virtual access point to have access to the VLAN 150, we actually have to add this to the bridge that the VLAN 150 is on. So let's open up the bridge. And right now it automatically pops down to the ports. We have the main wireless, Ether 2, Ether 3. So we're going to click on Add. This is a new bridge port. We're going to choose the interface of guest Wi-Fi. Set the bridge to LAN bridge and click Apply. So now this Wi-Fi has access to the VLAN 150. And I'll go ahead and close this up. I'll go ahead and look at the interfaces again. So we have VLAN 150 on the LAN bridge. All the appropriate LAN ports are part of this LAN bridge, including the wireless and guest Wi-Fi. They're on the LAN bridge. But remember, we're only dealing with tagged VLANs at this point, nothing untagged. So unless it's tagged, it won't get access to, won't be able to traverse through the VLAN 150 interface. So we have the IP address set, we have DHCP server set. In theory, this should be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up my mobile device. I'm going to pull up the wireless interface list. And I'm going to look at the registration. This will show me when the device connects over. Okay, I'm typing the password now. I'm joining. And it has successfully attached to the guest Wi-Fi interface. I'm waiting for it to pull an IP. And it has pulled an IP successfully. So I'm going to look at the lease options. And now we see right here it is now attached to the 168.150.253 IP address. And now, if we go back to interfaces, we can now see the VLAN 150. And I'll go ahead and zoom in. If you look right here, if you look at this line, when I zoom back out, you'll see transmit and receive packets are going in and going out appropriately. And yep. So the last thing is all we have to do is test to see if we have internet access. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a site on my mobile device. New page. We'll just go to Google. And I can get to Google. I'll go ahead and see if we can get to Google News. And as you can tell, it's pulling down the data on the appropriate VLAN, and I can do what I need to do. So folks, this is how to set up tagged VLANs very quickly on your MikroTik, and how to set up a guest Wi-Fi that uses that specific VLAN. Now you might be asking, well, how can I prevent this guest VLAN from accessing other parts of my network that I don't want? And that comes with a two-part process. So let's open up the guest Wi-Fi interface. And now that we have the guest Wi-Fi interface opened up, this is going to be two parts. One is to prevent wireless client to wireless client forwarding. And to disable that, all you need to do is uncheck default forward and click apply. And now any devices that are part of this guest Wi-Fi network won't be able to communicate with each other, but they will be able to communicate out to the internet or out to your WAN interface and be masqueraded just fine. But this will still allow them to communicate with other parts of your network. The way you're going to fix that is via IP firewall. So to do this, I'm going to pull up my two IP addresses so I can look at the IP address schemes. So we have a 1.0 network, which is on my standard LAN bridge, and the 150.0 network. So I want to set up a filter rule. I'm going to add. This will be part of the forward chain. And we're going to say anything from the 192.168.150.0/24 network going to 192.168.1.0/24 network. We're going to drop. That means anything whatsoever coming from that guest Wi-Fi network will not be able to get access to my other networks. And you have to do this for each guest network with what they don't want to have. You can simplify this by using address lists. However, you'll still will need to set the destination of where you do not want them to have access to. You can set an allow rule where you can allow ICMP above all. so they can still ping, but it can't communicate. But I like just disabling it altogether. So we're going to go ahead and drag this role above the last forward role. And in the forward chain, we see that this role right here, coming from the 150 network to the 1 dot network, is dropping any of those packets. And now your guest network is firewalled away from your primary network. But they can still access the internet just fine. Well, folks, this is about it for this video right here. I did have to pause this partway through to address a few things, and I was luckily able to resume the next day to get this done for you. If you have any questions, post a comment or reach out to me, and I will do what I can for you. Thanks so much. Bye.